Every single morning, you probably hear them before you even see them, right? The chickadee up in the maple tree, the cardinals somewhere over near the fence, or maybe the robins just moving through the yard in that low, rolling chatter. We've all heard these sounds so many times that they honestly just become part of the background, almost invisible to us. But here's a profound paradigm shift for you. Those sounds are not just random background noise. What is happening outside your window right now is a highly complex, completely decipherable language.
The researchers who have spent decades trying to fully crack this code stated incredibly clearly, quote, "Those sounds are language, with structure, with grammar, with specific meaning that other birds understand instantly and act on within seconds. And we are not just talking metaphorically here. We aren't using the loose, kind of fuzzy sense of the phrase animal communication. The calls your local birds are making follow strict, scientifically measured rules. They actually have syntax."
And here's the hook that absolutely blew my mind when I was reviewing the source material for this explainer. The birds outside your window right now, they are actively observing you. Part of what they are saying in your yard is specifically about you. You are constantly being evaluated. So let's break down exactly how this whole system works and what exactly they're saying.
Section 1. The Chickadee Threat Code. Cracking the code. Okay, let's dive into this with a bird you probably see every single day and some truly fascinating research from the University of Washington that cracked their specific code. We're talking about the black-capped chickadee. A chickadee doesn't just randomly assemble its sounds. It produces sequences that carry very specific, highly predictable data regarding predator threats. They actually distinguish between a small, fast predator, like a pygmy owl or a sharp-shinned hawk that can easily maneuver through branches at high speeds, versus a large, slow predator, like a great horned owl. The great horned owl is definitely dangerous, but it's much easier to avoid in the open. Now think about the number 23 for a second. When a highly dangerous, really fast predator, like that pygmy owl, is spotted, the chickadee triggers a broadcast that adds up to 23 D syllables at the very end of its call. They literally encode the severity of the threat into the exact length and structure of the vocalization. It's like a built-in threat level meter. And the amazing part is that every single bird in earshot translates those syllables into instant survival instructions. If the call signals a small, fast predator, the instruction is clear: freeze in dense cover immediately. Literally, do not move a muscle. But if the call signals a large, slow predator with fewer D syllables, the birds know it's actually safe to collectively gang up, mob the predator, and chase it off. It is an incredibly precise, rule-based alarm system. Section 2. The Community Alarm Network. Shared safety. Let's move to the next concept and see how this all builds. Because this communication isn't just happening within a single species. Your backyard is actually a highly integrated, multi-species safety network. Researchers at the Cornell Lab of Ornithology discovered that birds actively listen to entirely different species to constantly update their understanding of what's safe and what's not. They call this heterospecific eavesdropping. So your yard isn't just a random collection of isolated species operating on their own different wavelengths. It's a shared community infrastructure that runs entirely on sound. We can actually see how this cascades across species boundaries. When a robin gives its sharp staccato alarm call, the chickadee instantly responds. And then, when the chickadee gives its own high D cascade, the nuthatch hears it and immediately freezes. They're actively extracting vital information from each other's alarms, basically taking full advantage of a communal early warning system. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer speed of this network. The blue jay functions as the absolute loudest alarm broadcaster in most Eastern American yards. Just look at this timeline. At 0 seconds, a blue jay screams its piercing hawk alarm. Within exactly 1 second, that warning blankets the entire environment. By 2 seconds, every single bird in your yard, completely regardless of species, is completely silent and totally still. They do not wait for visual verification. They trust the jay's broadcast implicitly.
Section 3. Invisible Negotiations, Territory and Resources. But, it's not all just high-stress alarms and predator threats. Familiar birds also use complex vocalizations for everyday resource management and maintaining their territorial boundaries. Let's look at the invisible negotiations happening right up in your trees.
We are all pretty familiar with the loud, clear whistle of the male northern cardinal, but research from Ohio State University reveals something absolutely incredible about the female cardinal. She sings directly from the nest, and her song is actually a real-time, ongoing negotiation with the male regarding food delivery rates for their nestlings. She dynamically adjusts the rate and pattern of her call based on exactly how hungry the babies are, and the male actively responds by either increasing or decreasing his food deliveries. She is literally directing resource allocation from the nest.
And then, of course, we have crows. University of Washington data shows us that crows actually use regional dialects to identify outsiders. But even more fascinating for your own backyard, they hold conversational commentary about reliable food sources. First, a single crow locates a reliable feeder. Second, it communicates this find to the group using those complex dialects. Third, the flock collectively decides if your yard is actually worth visiting. If a group of crows suddenly shows up, I promise you it's not random. They have actively discussed your yard, and they've basically given it a 5-star collective review.
Section 4. The Sounds of Comfort. Contact calls. Now let's soften the tone a little bit and explore what researchers call contact calls. These are the quiet, subtle sounds birds make when the yard has been fully assessed and found to be completely free of danger.
When everything is totally fine, birds engage in community maintenance. Goldfinches will keep up a constant stream of really quiet, perchy calls. Chickadees make this soft, almost conversational gargling sound. Juncos use coordinated chatter to just stay together while they're foraging on the ground. And Carolina wrens, which are normally so incredibly loud, drop to a literal whisper when they move through dense brush together. This conversational volume is specifically designed not to broadcast to the world, but simply to keep the local flock connected.
When you hear these soft, highly variable sounds in your own yard, this is essentially what they translate to. We are together, we are safe, keep moving. It means your yard has been officially assessed by the flock and found to be entirely trustworthy. It's a real-time verdict of safety.
Section 5. Your backyard reputation. What they think of you. So the crucial point is this, and it brings it all right back to you. The birds haven't just been evaluating the hawks and the owls. They have been actively watching you, evaluating you, and honestly, gossiping about you to the rest of the neighborhood.
There is this incredible research from the University of Exeter in the UK that found garden birds actually develop individual responses to specific humans over time. They track you. If you regularly exhibit non-threatening behaviors, things like moving slowly, reliably providing food, and lacking sudden jerky movements, they will gradually reduce their alarm responses specifically to you, not to all humans in general, just to you.
The yard you've built has a reputation, and you have a reputation within it. If you step out the back door and a chickadee doesn't add any extra D syllables to its call, or if a cardinal just keeps right on singing without freezing up, well, you have officially passed their threat assessment. Through their entire network of alarm calls and settled contact calls, they've compared notes, and they've concluded that you are safe.
Which leaves us with one final, kind of provocative question. The next time you step outside tomorrow morning, I want you to listen closely to the volume, the tone, and the syllables in the air. What are the birds in your yard saying about you right now? Have you passed the test? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Now go step outside and start listening to the conversation.